Perhaps you remember as a child playing the fun game of hide and seek, when we like to get one of our little brothers to go hide and then we wouldn't seek him. But there's also a word that's used in many of the religious circles today about being a seeker yourself. But even before man kind of called himself a seeker, God is called a seeker in John chapter 4. You may recall this is where Jesus is talking with the woman at the well. She's a Samaritan, and they talk about a variety of subjects, and eventually they get to the subject of worship. And the woman is very focused on the material aspect of worship and the place of worship. It's kind of interesting also, as a side note, that Jesus has this discussion with this woman who would probably in our minds be one of the last people that we would have such a detailed discussion and insightful discussion about worship. But that's who he chooses to reveal these great things to, and ultimately to you and me as well. Jesus responds to her analysis and thoughts about worship, which are mainly physical and material. Jesus responds to those in John 4, verse 21 by saying, "Woman, believe me, the hour is coming when you will neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem worship the Father. You worship what you do not know. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour is coming, and now is, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father is seeking such to worship him. For God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth." We learn a few things that we obviously don't have time to go in great detail about, but we learn a few things about worship here. Jesus says that, first of all, we must be true worshipers, people who are sincerely, with all our heart, seeking to worship, to adore, to praise, to honor the Father. And we do that in spirit and in truth. Jesus says it's not so much about the place, the physical location, but the place in our heart, the place in our mind, in spirit and in truth. And when these true worshipers engage in this kind of adoration and worship of the Father, Jesus says the Father is seeking such. The Father is seeking these kind of people, true worshipers, to worship him with the right heart, mind, attitude. God is seeking these people. I hope you and I will be the kind of worshiper that God is seeking, and that you and I will worship him in spirit and in truth.